Hey listeners, I'm sure you already know, but we have a YouTube channel called Anime Lately, where we do entertaining anime, mangas, and movie reactions and review videos. If you like to laugh and enjoy to listening to anime and manga theories and discussions, watch Anime Lately videos, where we are never short of any anime and manga related content all on the YouTube channel. On the next Dragon Ball Z. I'm so sorry, guys. I mean, Rayapollo.tv stream. My mistake, guys, but this streamer is just so good that it reminds me of the good old days where everything was simple. Waking up early in the morning, being up front in the TV, just watching Dragon Ball Z. If you have a 9 to 5 job and you need something to listen to while you're doing work, give your boy, Rayapollo, a watch or lurk on his Twitch channel at Rayapollo.tv. If you haven't figured it out yet, this month's Rayapollo is playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So watch or lurk into his Twitch channel, the most good-looking Twitch streamer on Twitch. Just saying. If you need more movie reviews to listen to during your commutes, listen to the Careful Spoilers Podcast Network. They have new episodes that just came out featuring the most anticipated movies of 2020, the top 10 and top 10 worst movies of the decade. Ugh. Check them out on all your local podcast networks on iTunes, Spotify, Stitchers, iHeartRadio, and more. And if you're interested in listening to more anime manga podcasts, check out our friends at the Anime Podcast Show podcast, Get in a Mecha podcast, Mike Check Waifu podcast, Project Manga and Project Webtoons podcast, Black Anime podcast, Worst Generation podcast, Anime Summit, and Black Anime podcast. And now let's go on to our podcast. Welcome, Anime Lately podcast listeners and YouTube podcast watchers, to another episode of the Anime Lately podcast. I'm your host, Sam the Manga Man. Introducing first, the Game Master, the legendary Super Saiyan. Not Brawly, because he is someone even more legendary. He is someone that shall not be named. He is the director of anime, Mr. King of Games himself, Rayapollo. Introducing next, Lele Demon in the Black Clover community. He is a great love for Trigon, Dr. Stone, and One Piece. The intellectual, sensational legend Vash, Miguel Para. And finally, our last co-host, he is the CEO of the Careful Spoilers Podcast Network, the founder of the No Anime, No Life Facebook group. He's a connoisseur and passionate man for movies. The great and talented JB, James Barnes. How you all doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, like James just said, it's good to be here, record with you guys to talk about anime and manga, and it's just nice to finally be with you guys and just be talking on a weekly basis.
That always gets me. The intro is always what gets me. So yeah, feeling fine now. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, I always have fun writing these intros and promos. Whatever you want to give me to work with, I would always make a great intro. If we have a guest star, I'm gonna have so much more fun giving our guests a special treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I'm glad for another episode. This is episode number 36. And
yes, 36, not 35 like last week where I made my mistake. It's 36, episode 36. 36.
But we have been on for over a year now. I say it's a congrats for us. We started this last year, actually.
Really? It's been a year?
Actually did. Yeah, it's been a year.
Podcast phase 2, we started in April. Phase 2, yes, in April. So it will be a full year for podcast side. But Anime Lady brand, by itself, by our parent company and everything, we're a month of this year fully.
Yeah. But seriously, guys, we have fun doing this. We love doing this, and hope you guys are entertained with what we do, because this is great. We have fun. We love doing this for you guys.
Absolutely.
So that's what we always do from how we always start for this podcast. We do our weekly anime watch and manga readings. Technically, the only thing that we all watch in all anime is the My Hero Academia season 4 episode 15. But instead we'll start with the movie first that we've all watched, and it's actually in theaters still right now, and probably in your local theaters until a set day. It's called Weathering with You, by Makoto Shinkai.
Yes, it's a beautiful film that me and Sam saw him ourselves. We first saw it in Anime NYC back 2 months ago. If you guys saw that podcast of that coming week, we saw the film and we gave our non-spoiler review and a quick discussion about it. And we were one of the first people to actually see it in the West. And now that it came out to US, a lot of people saw it, and they extended a lot of theaters to actually have more people see it, and I'm very happy for that, because Weather with You, it was a nice film, and one of his previous films, Your Name, is one of my top favorites film of all time of anime, and Weather with You to me kind of surpassed his film. Which one is better is all on perspective, but for me, his animation style really improved. And plus its color palette really improved as well, like the whole blue, the white with the aspect of the film. Are we talking spoilers or non-spoilers? I just want to know.
I think we could do spoilers. Let's do spoilers for all of us.
I mean, yeah, we could do spoilers at this point.
All right, so people, if you don't want to hear spoilers about Weather with You, check the time codes, and then you can skip to where we're not talking about the film. And I love the dragon aspect in the sky. That was one of my favorite scenes of the whole animation aspect. And I really love it. And for the folktale, that was really amazing of how he interpreted into it. And I love how in one of his interviews he called it his Shinkai universe, where he had the characters of Your Name in them as well. So that was really adorable of how he had them involved in the film as well. So it was amazing. It was exciting to see it. I was very happy about it.
Yeah, it was awesome when we saw her. Like, it was like, I was like, is that, who is that? And then all of a sudden we saw it. I was like, oh my God, it's her.
Like, that's the ribbon. Fuck yeah.
I mean, and you could tell in the theater who recognized who it was and who didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. If they were with somebody, they would lead it over like, oh my God, you see that? It was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was such a cool moment.
It was also interesting to see the guy too. Like, we didn't know like that was his grandma, and like he was the main character from the last movie too.
That was a nice surprise. That one was just kind of like, oh, that works. I like it.
I think what kind of threw us off is also the ring that she had too. Like, she had a ring in her from arm, from the next to the ring finger. We thought that this might be the future where they've gotten married, but actually, from what he said in the interview, this was actually before they even met yet. This is not, they didn't meet yet together, but we have the main character from Weathering with You met both of them.
That makes sense because, I mean, we don't know how much time had passed.
Yeah, so I agree. But as a fan, I was a bit upset about that because I wish he didn't answer that with details. I wish it was for us to decide to see if they was still married or anything like that, because I feel like me as a person, like, oh, damn, I wish they was still married. So I wish it was for us. It's kind of like those type of films that end at the end, like for us to see of what we interpret of what we saw at the ending. I wish that was what that kind of perspective was. I like, oh, I wish they was married, and then somebody else say, oh no, they weren't married because because that's how I saw. So I wish that was the aspect about that.
And also, I feel like that would have kind of taken away from the movie that we were watching, I guess, that sense, which I understand, but from everything that happened, they had to have gotten together not much longer afterwards, based on how this movie ends,
Yeah. And it literally had to be like a sunny day too when they met too, like as well.
Exactly. So it had to have been not very long afterwards.
But if he makes his next film connected with this film,
no more
Japan. Tokyo's kind of gone right now.
Tokyo's. I feel like Tokyo's being remade, which is really cool. They could do like an underwater city. He could do some really cool stuff.
He could
that's very true.
Like a neo future Tokyo that's like half Atlantis would be so.
I was just about to say that Atlantis would be pretty cool.
That would be nuts.
Have like an Aquaman kind of special effects in a way. No.
Okay, Sam, you're going too much.
The effects of Aquaman were awesome. Okay, I'll say that.
Yeah, the effects. Just got the effects.
But I say
effects.
We're not gonna have superpowers now out here,
effects.
like a whole talking to dolphins and sharks now.
But this movie was wonderful. I went and saw it by myself. It was because my wife was busy, and I really enjoyed it. It was gorgeous. The story it fit really. I don't know. This movie just worked for what it was. I'm still of the group that while this movie was awesome, I still love the story from Your Name more. But yes. I do still really like this.
Yeah, I really, really like this movie. I think the perfect way for me to explain my feelings about Weathering with You compared to Your Name is Weathering with You is The Irishman and Your Name is Goodfellas. The Irishman is a great mob movie. There is nothing that I can say to tear down The Irishman. It is great, but it is nothing compared to Goodfellas in any way, shape, or form. And that's how I feel about Weathering with You. It is absolutely gorgeous. I thought the story was good. I liked the characters for the most part, but something about the story in Your Name, something about how that movie is paced, edited, the reveals all the way until the end, that spoke to me way more than Weathering with You. When I left the theater, I was like, well, that was really pretty. I stared at a really pretty person, and watching the film, I found out what they were like on the inside, and I'm like, well, you're really pretty. And that's about it. That's how I feel about Weathering with You.
I feel exactly the same way as you. I was like, oh, that was really cute. Yep, I felt that way when I left.
Well, I get where James is coming from in that aspect because I rewatched Your Name, I think 2 nights ago, by myself. I was like, okay, before we do the podcast, let me rewatch Your Name. And my stance switch is because as a person that wants to be a fan critic, that watches and reviews anime, reacts to and all that, I had to also see the story aspect where in Your Name, Madu saves a whole type of town/city because of a meteor about to kill people, and also a girl that he fell in love with because he was inside her body in a time travel type of aspect. But then with Weathering with You, this boy chose a selfish type of wish by letting a whole city of Tokyo go underwater just for a girl. And also, it was beautiful animated, like James was saying, but I felt like more connected and relatable for Your Name because you're trying to be more, instead of selfish. Yeah, sorry. Instead of selfish, you're trying to be selfless by going out to the time travel aspect and save a whole city and everything and do the best you can. And I felt more connecting with that because you're trying to be a hero instead of Weathering with You. He did great with his color palette and everything, but I felt like the dude was just going for the Ponani. That's all he was going for. I'm like, interesting. But I gotta admit something that I didn't expect from a anime movie. It was the gun scene. That gun scene at the end really kind of shook me because I didn't expect that to actually occur, and the scene was done very well for a anime movie. So I really want to get the shout out to of how it was done very well, where I didn't expect that scene to actually happen, where I was like, okay, this is done very well.
I mean, like in real life, he would have gotten shot because he literally moved the direction of where the gun to switching to different people, though.
This is also Japan, so I'm gonna say that gun violence there is very different than it is here.
Yes, agree.
So like, while I was like, that shook me for a second because I was not expecting that either. It's just
Same
also
here.
like, I know that culture it's very different when it comes to guns. It's like guns there is like it's legitimately like a shock to all of them.
Yeah.
For when I remember seeing it on the big like jumbotrons, and I was like, oh snap, like that's crazy. And then he finds one, and I'm like, oh snap, that's even crazier. So I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. But for him to handle it, for it to be handled this well in a place where guns aren't really all that prevalent, I was like, oh, okay, that was the one like shocking thing, which it made me uneasy because guns are guns, but it's like, oh, all right, I see what you're doing. But I feel like it was a delicate issue that was handled well, but still was like a little scary every time. But I thought that's what made it more impactful. I think it was like, oh no, this is serious. That's a gun. It's like you're and this is a world where these are just people. These aren't super people. These aren't like demigods. These are people. You get shot, you die. It's one of those. It was like, oh no, I understood the stakes of a gun immediately. So I like that.
I also think it's a little bit too long. I would have cut out like 10 minutes, maybe 10, 12 minutes out of it. I think maybe around the montages of her, making the sun come out. Maybe too many sequences of that went on too long. I don't know. Like I said, I really, really like it. It's a very simple love story with great visuals. You have the runaway boy, he finds this hot girl in Japan, he finds out what she can do, and they hang out all the time. He likes her a lot. They take care of each other. She takes care of her brother. And then they meet at the end and then it's over. Like there's just nothing that really moved me, like Miguel was saying, with the time travel, the sacrifices, the stakes. It just wasn't there for me, which is I'm not saying anything bad about the movie. It's just, for me, Your Name, Goodfellas, Weathering with You, The Irishman, both great things, but one is the pinnacle of what I think is anime cinema.
I think I would agree with you guys in a way, because with Your Name, their love and romance into that one was definitely better for that relationship, because mainly these are kids. These are like 16-year-old kids who don't really know too much about the world, even though that they're young enough where if you're under 18, they would put you in a home and put you for adoption and separate your kids. That's true. That's really real. And the selfish act of what the main character, the boy, did, it seems more what a kid would usually do. It's their own selfish act. They wouldn't, of course they're gonna do the selfish act, but you can, at one point, you can either agree with it, where wouldn't you do the same thing for love? Like, would you literally put the world underwater in order to save the girl you love? Because you make a lot of people happy, like give them sunshine again, but you give up the girl that you love. And throughout the whole entire story, we've learned the myths and the story. And they all said, like, we don't really know if the heavy rainfall is actually the natural occurrence, or us getting sunshine and everything is a natural occurrence, until the full end in the myth, when the grandma said, they once say back then, like 200 years ago, Japan was just a small island, like a small island of it's surrounded by water, and almost like a city on the ground of water. So if you think about it, this might actually been like the natural occurrence. This might returning back to the way it used to be.
It's kind of like the same thing. It's kind of like the same thing I'm about to say of how Manhattan, they say in 300 years Manhattan is going to be underwater, of how low it is to the surface. So it's kind of like the same thing where a lot of people, and there's one thing I appreciate about the director, Mame Shinkai. He uses, overall, I love how anime films uses a lot of folktale. Like they use a lot of folktale to their films. With Japan, of Your Name, with the folktale about time travel, about praying, and plus the Buddha and all that, and plus with this film, with the folktale of the dragon. Like, I love how they always use that type of, like, they will find a way to intertwine the story with that. So that's one thing that I love that always stays the same with Japan movies. So I really love the aspect. One thing I want to ask everybody: which soundtrack did you guys prefer?
Oh, hard one. That's a hard one. Because I'm still listening to Weathering with You, but I'm also like here and there also listening to Your Name as well.
Soundtrack, like score wise, I'll give it to Your Name, but to songs, I have to give it to Weathering with You.
You mean like individual songs?
No, like the
whole
score.
movie?
No, like the score without the voices, like just the score.
Oh, so just the score, but not the soundtrack. Gotcha.
Yeah. So score wise, I give it to Your Name, but to the songs that have the voices, is definitely to Weathering with You, between the two.
I can agree with that, because I did the lyrics in.
It was just great.
Weathering with You,
and plus the beat drop is amazing. Within Weathering with You, it's like the drop that it does with the beat with the main song. It's just amazing. It really connects to me. That's really beautiful.
Watching from the interviews, how the music was made for the Weathering with You movie. Shinkai and the band Wadi Pop, literally they worked side by side together. So for Shinkai, when he wrote the script, the band wrote 2 songs from the script that he gave them that inspired them to write 2 songs. And when Shinkai listened to these songs, he was like, all right, I'm going to listen to this and like literally draw the animation that's going to work together with this music. And it worked really well. He did really hard work for this. And it's amazing how within 2 years, the entire movie was like done and made with music and everything. And I gotta give its props with its animation because they did really well with its landscape, the buildings, the water, its panorama shots. It did really well with their camera shots and views in its way. And I think another thing that we can say did really well is the message from the movie, because Shinkai did say and mention in an interview that this movie was about with global warming and how like the weather can be very crazy and can be very active. You can have a very heavy rainfall constantly happen, and this is a consequence that can come in. Like literally, a city can be submerged. A big island can turn into a small idol.
That's one thing that I wish that was kind of discussed in the film. I wish that he said that if there was any lives that were lost that day when it was just submerged under sea, because it just seemed like it just happened and like nobody knew if there was any lives lost. It was just a whole section of the town gone. I'm like, okay, but was there any type of sacrifice? It's like what like what me and James said. Like, okay, cool. In your name, we had a whole town. In the future, some people still lost their lives, but this time it wasn't a whole town that was gone. But with you, we don't know if people lost their lives. So
it's to say, like, is there evacuation programs or something like that? Like, all right, it's getting too much. Everybody needs to leave. Like how we have hurricane hits. Like if it's category 1 or category 2 or whatnot, people who are in suburban A, B, or C needs to move up like to a higher ground so that the flood doesn't get too crazy. They tell you to evacuate your homes or evacuate the streets and move up to a higher level ground away from the ocean. That's what they would usually do. It's not that instantly people were going to die from it. It just that they would tell people to like, all right, everybody move up into higher ground so that you don't die being flooded down and stuff like that.
But I mean, some people did. I mean, there's no way that everyone survived. And the director trusts the audience to know you're smart enough to know these places are flooding. Not everyone's going to make it. As far as the soundtrack and the score goes, I honestly don't know. I've only seen Weathering with You once. I've seen Your Name like 5 or 6 times. I would need to see it again to really analyze it and see which one I like more. So I can't really give an answer right now.
Right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, so I don't know. I feel like Your Name just struck the right chords with me. Like this was really nice. Don't get me wrong, but Your Name when something works that well as a complete package, like Your Name did, that's what's going to resonate more with me. Like I said, there were songs that stood out in this one that were good, but Your Name just honestly nailed it. it all worked for me. So I'm going to have to pick, if I'm going to actually pick one, it'll be Your Name.
Okay.
I think it was another great job about the movie is that, well, Shinkai learns like everybody seems to like how the transition came in from during the Your Name movie where we keep going both sides and doing transition. They're playing the music in the background, see how like their lives are being affected since switching bodies and switching us. And then for Weathering with You, I think they did that like 2-3 more times. And I thought that was not bad. That was pretty good way of style to do it, where you're playing the movie's music and then showing like faster transition from each slideshows of who's giving the sunshine, who ordered this sunshine or that sunshine for what reason, for that reason. I do agree with James. They could have at least shortened it up a little bit and like for like a good 10 minutes, like save a little bit more time from there. And another thing I wasn't too agreeable was like they literally had to make the entire screen black for a good like a good 30 seconds before they move into the next scene in the transition. but you'll still hear the narrator talking and the voicing and stuff like that too from the movie. But yeah, guys. Budding Review. It's a good movie, and right now it's earned over $5 million within 6 days. Of course, it already surpassed Your Name's movie theater when it came out in theaters in the U.S., which makes sense. When you have a popular movie of your name and your next sequel is most likely going to be earning a lot of money because of their previous movies. So,
oh yeah,
well, sure.
Makoto Shinkai, you did a great job for this movie. We all were entertained. We all liked where it went the direction it's in. Maybe maybe take your time a little bit more for your next movie work. Maybe not spend 2 years, because this is impressive job. This is impressive work within 2 years. But I think you can take his time for the next movie, and yeah, he can take his time.
And plus, if you ever want to come back to the podcast, we would love to interview and talk to you about your work and your what you have done in future endeavors. So please, if you ever have the time to listen to us, come by. We would love to talk to you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, let's move on to our anime watching of My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 15.
This was a good and sad episode.
This was the saddest episode.
This is the saddest episode.
Yeah, it hit me a lot harder watching it than reading it in the manga, honestly. Watching Night Eye saying his final goodbyes and him dying with a smile on his face, telling everyone to smile because they have to be that glimmer of hope for everyone. It was just soul crushing. But on the other half of that, seeing Shigaraki breaking Overhaul out of the transport truck and taking off his legs, his arms, it was just.
I think he just cut off his arms, right? He didn't touch his legs.
I thought he went for a leg.
I think he went for both.
I think he just went for both hands.
Just the arms?
So he couldn't use the anymore. Yeah.
Okay. My bad.
Because his quirk works only by using his hands.
Right.
And yeah.
Back it out. It's basically he has to have his hands to make it work.
Yeah, because I was wondering, so he really does need his quirks can't work without his hands, so that kind of makes him quirkless in a way now.
He is now, yeah. So he has a quirk, but he can't use it. So yeah.
So even prosthetics, it still wouldn't work, or we don't really know about that, do we?
I would doubt it, honestly, unless it was because I think it was just skin on skin contact.
Yeah.
Or maybe if his quirk evolves in the future, maybe if he can use it with his legs, maybe.
Sure, we're gonna have a barefoot this dude around toes. Yep.
So I have a question though, because in the fight between him and Deku, he was losing hands left and right, but he was still able to pull himself back together. So how does that work? Because he was definitely losing limbs constantly throughout that fight.
Yeah, you're right. That makes perfect sense. He was just regrowing his body. You're right.
So isn't it possible for him to regrow his hands again?
Yeah,
there's so many
possibilities.
We need to know more details about his quirk.
I can't take that back. When he was doing it, I think he was already in the process of disassembling them and reassembling them when those were happening. I think that's
that makes sense.
Potentially, that's just kind of what I would think when I'm when I saw thinking about the fight. He was already trying to reassemble himself as he was being torn apart. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we could talk about that for a while because I have questions.
A good point. So yeah, I'm not gonna say no. That's a good point. So I don't know. We'll see. I really do think there's a good use for Overhaul later on. And I think that Shigaraki knew that, and that's why he didn't kill him potentially. I know he hates him, but he could potentially have use for him later because he is smart. So he synthesized that serum and that basically poison. So who knows? I don't know.
And plus, I love how our man Shigaraki was just there looking crazy over on top of him, and Overhaul just look at him like, yo, this boy is crazy. So I just love that scene a lot.
Big new.
But it emphasized where Overhaul to stare him in front of him and to Damn, boy, you are freaking insane. I don't know why I want to work with you. Like it really emphasized that scene a lot.
I mean, he got beat up for one thing.
I'm getting tired of seeing people complain about the animation in My Hero because they are literally giving us such quality compared to the shit that we could be getting. 7 Deadly Sins.
Yes. Black Clover.
Y'all are like, oh, they didn't perfectly animate the page from the manga the way that we saw it. And I'm like, how often do you ever get perfect 1-to-1 like representation from a manga in the anime? It's not very often at all. It's very rare, actually. So the fact that y'all are crying about that really, it's just like you just want something to cry about. you really just
exactly.
Want it's beautifully animated. It's well done. It's like, and I saw somebody like color the page, like they say the way it was done from the manga. It doesn't even look that different. It really doesn't. So it's like, okay,
it really don't.
So all right, yeah, you wanted this, cool. It would not have made a difference. It would have looked the same to me, to be completely honest. So
that's the thing, though. The minor changes are because you're looking at moving things instead of reading a page and looking at animation on a page.
Focus.
Exactly.
They clearly shifting the focus on this one to Shigaraki. They wanted you to focus on him, not on Compress and Dabi.
Oh yeah,
like
Dabi.
Yeah, they didn't want you. They didn't want you to focus on them. Shigaraki is the one who was the focal point of that last scene, and that's what they wanted, and that's why I think they shifted the focus of that. I don't understand why people wouldn't read between the lines.
I think another thing that got me was like I when I read the manga part, I thought Shigaraki did kill Overhaul, but apparently he didn't, and then he left. And in the anime, okay, so he was still left alive. Well, Overhaul's dead, but Chisaki is just broken. He's alive but broken.
Yeah, broken. But I mean, I think I also kind of like it's kind of up to interpretation technically. They don't affirm it.
It is ambiguous for the readers to see in anime watchers now. Is it dead or is he not? We don't know until it happens.
When the manga had the explosion, it was a lot bigger. I thought the explosion is what killed Chisaki, but nope. It probably didn't. It was just they just left him lying there.
That's what I like about it. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Well, we don't know.
And then, Shigaraki said, like, I'm not gonna kill you. Well, he said that I'm not gonna kill you, so you're not dying at that point. So, I mean, I guess I was like, fine, okay. Actually, if you think about it, they stole Chisaki's arm. They didn't really not just cut it off. They just literally stole it and put it into the orb ball thing.
One of his arms, and then Shigaraki uses his powers to decay the other arm.
Yeah.
But then he cuts it off because it would spread. It would make no sense killing him. You being alive, not being able to use your quirk, not being able to continue with your mission, and you get to watch me become the head of everything. That's your penance. That's your torture.
Yep.
And like technically, they could use that hand to clone or whatever DNA they have. His
I think they could use it to steal his quirk.
And also, it's because they're gonna make a Nomu out of it.
Spoilers from the manga. Yeah.
Not really.
I mean, not really. Not really. We've known about Nomus at this point.
Yeah, they've been manufactured when it was
and
the one.
That's not a thing that's actually happened. That's just a speculation.
Yeah, speculation, guys. So no
worries.
It
is something that is definitely possible.
Yes, it definitely will happen. It's something that we might see in this arc in the manga.
I mean, although something I saw on Twitter today. Oh no, I can't talk about this because it is a spoiler, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
All right, let's talk about the next part with the emotional part with the Night Eyes scene.
Boy, dead.
I mean, I felt that emotion in the manga. Yet I was not ready for what was gonna happen in the anime. I think the anime hit it so hard that it worked. Some people was crying. I for one actually cried that part. I was like, oh, that hurt. Oh, this message. Oh, that hurt. What he did, before he died, he saw Marino's future one last time, and then he's like, "You're gonna be a best hero. You can be great in the future."
I mean, all he had to say to Mirio, and this is what he said, is that you're gonna be fine, and that made me happy. I was like, okay, good,
because he saw it. He saw his future. but we don't know what's happened. That's the thing.
Because this like watching through the overhaul arc made me really like, because I already liked Mirio a lot. This made me really like Mirio. I love that character. I love the character of Mirio, and it was when Night Eye admitted, he was like, "Yo, initially I picked you up because I wanted you to be the next All Might. Like this is what I saw him in you, and I wanted you to be that. But I know that was selfish, but you're gonna be fine." And I love that so much, and it made me so sad. It made me so sad. Because it was so well done. That relationship was all of the and it wasn't just, you know how we get into scenes like that in anime, and it's just like two brothers and then everybody else, or like a father and a son or something like that, and everybody else, and there's no real connection between them. There was a relationship among, like, they were all connected, and I think that's what made it hurt so much, is because they were all connected in some way, which was wonderful. I thought they were all actually affected by this.
Agreed.
Which that made it much sadder for me, to be completely honest. They all lost somebody important. He imparted something important to each of them, which was crazy. But he also patched up a relationship as he was dying, which was like, oh God, why'd you do this?
Before you die, don't want to have any regrets, especially when you're just finally seeing All Might after all this time, but it's at your deathbed.
I think the hardest is that this is how he, like, the last time he saw All Might was basically at death's door, and then when All Might sees him again for the last time, he's dying. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah.
It definitely was a beautiful imagery between both characters of Night Eye and All Might, for sure.
Yes.
It was good.
Such a well episode. Like,
it was really well done.
I said it in the reaction that the episode before this was incredibly hype, just super crazy energy. But this episode was just as good in terms of the emotion and the story. God, it was so good.
It was. Some people even say like the anime did a little bit better job than the manga did with that emotion, the music too that played in the background.
100%.
That's the power of anime, man. When it's done well, it can absolutely be better than the manga.
It can hit hard. Like,
Yeah. Something I didn't notice in the manga, but there were people talking about giving Deku the praise for defeating Overhaul. And I don't remember that in the manga for some reason. I don't know why. I'm sure it's in there.
It's because in the manga, it happened one panel out of the page. Here in the anime, they actually extended it.
Yeah.
So that's why I really love that for James that you brought up, is because in the manga, it was one panel out of the whole page. It was one panel in the corner that happened. But here in the anime, they extended that. So you're totally right about that.
One hero tells him thank you. That has to be the greatest compliment. Like, you have a pro hero telling you thank you for saving them, saving everyone, and having her talk to other people about Deku saved us. And that was really powerful to me, because more people are learning about him and learning about all of these other heroes, Red Riot, all of these people who put their lives on their line. They're still in high school. You know what I mean? And I love it, man. I love everything about my hero.
I think they also did like a cutoff scene when when the doctor was inspecting Deku and was about to tell him something, but gets cut off midway by Aizawa Sensei, because we might need you to come in here for Night Eye. Like,
it was very cheeky. Actually,
that was very cheeky.
Small thing, because he was about to tell him. I think he was about to tell him that his arm had actually healed a little bit, because. And he didn't pay attention to it. And I don't think that they ever go back into that. Like,
they did it.
They don't.
Like, we don't ever go back into that. And it's kind of wild, but I think we're gonna find out that Deku's body is basically healed. He still has the scars, but he's healed.
It's because scars don't really fade away, because they are taking your battle scars. But I agree, his body internally, his bones and everything, are back to 100%.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That is crazy.
It was such a small thing, and that's just that's also speculation. That's not confirmed in any of the manga. So don't be like, oh my god, no, we're just speculating that. But I think that
same here. I agree, because that line when the doctor said about to tell you something, and then nope, interruption, cheeky. I'm pretty sure there are good. Some people didn't notice that. We're like, hey, finish explaining, or all right, or they might have brushed it off. They didn't realize anything. They just see someone come in the door. Like, hey, Deku, we need you to come in like real quick. You see all the doctor. You see All Might back. You see Aizawa. You see everything. Like, yeah, Night Eye. He won't see the light of day tomorrow. And
I'm with the doctors. I'm surprised he made it that long. It's like, dude, you have a giant hole where your organs are. Like, you should be dead, very, very dead.
That's why they said like you're not seeing the light of day tomorrow, and your organs are failing, and you're gonna die.
Whatever's left.
And this is the most painful way to die. And yet Night Eye doesn't regret it because he protect Marino and Eri together. So that's the job of a hero. And this is where we see consequences. This is actually the first we've seen consequences where heroes can die. And Night Eye is the prime example of a hero can die in battle. This is the KIA for Naruto. Like these ninjas, these high standards in missions, you can die in missions where KIA. It may sound like back then in the original Naruto, hey, that sounds pretty cool. Like I can't wait. Like, what does that even mean? Like it means killed in action, meaning like they've died during a mission. They died nobly for their own country, for their own clan, and everything. And in this world, heroes can die. They can die to protecting their heroes, protecting their city, protecting the world. That's their job. It's life and death. And I'm glad that it exposed it this way, where not all heroes can live and still be alive. You can really die. I mean, any moment.
Mortality, regardless of the work. Yeah, which I like. So one quick last thing. Can we talk about Deku's basically pro-hero moment where they talk about how he minimized, it was very small, how he minimized all the damage to the city with what he did, which is like, that shows you how that boy is smart and he is always thinking on his feet. What an incredible feat. Also in a situation, thinking about everything that was going on, how he was still thinking about how to be the best hero possible, minimize the damage overall is nuts.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say about it.
Because that's one thing that I've always have laughed when I see, used to read about the Superman comics and the Justice League comics. They always destroy the freaking cities, and somehow they always destroy cities and cities, and they just go on with their day. But that's one thing I enjoy about my hero is that Deku always avoided to fight in instead of on the ground. He always tried his best to fight in the sky above and avoid a lot of the houses and stuff like that. So that's something that I really enjoy because they really emphasize is that heroes destroy property damage. They do that all the damn time, and that's something that's really enjoyable to actually hear.
Yeah, it's absolutely part of the job. It's the Goku and Superman types that do try and avoid it because they know that they can. Like they know how much damage they can do, and they try to minimize it when possible. So Deku definitely fits into the Superman Goku archetype, like straight up.
Yep, definitely a great, impactful episode. Next episode starts the new arc.
I'm excited for that.
And I've been seeing that new Twitter thread going on, like, what's your favorite arc? And I think that I don't want to say the festival arc, but the gentle arc, I think might still be my favorite. And it's because we see Deku grow so much so quickly.
Can we just talk about the news about that? About the new arc coming over here?
That's why I transitioned to that. I want to talk about the school festival arc.
I'm excited for that, and not because of the festivals, also it's because to actually show that these kids are still kids. They're in high school. And also the most important is that I love the gentle arc because for one reason is that I love the overhaul arc. It's amazing. It's good at what it is. But I prefer the gentle arc is because it shows that what he learned from overhaul arc, he did it better in gentle arc because nobody found out what he did there. Only a certain couple of people. And he covered himself in that one villain, and he did it in such a beautiful way. Still, and he didn't wear his whole hero outfit at all. He just fought because a dude wanted to grab a bag of something for the festival, and my dude took out a villain through the whole time, and it was amazing.
It's not even just that. I really enjoyed Gentle and the Brava. Like I really enjoy them, and I like their dynamic and their story and their motivation. Like I really like I appreciate it, and I think that's why I like it. And it's also because it's sort of condensed. They don't drag it out, which I really appreciate. They do a lot with a little for this, and it's like because it's basically the back half of this next arc. So we're gonna get the festival, and then we get this thing with Deku and Gentle, which is awesome. So I really like the design for La Brava. They made her look like a teenager, which I kind of like because La Brava looks like a child in the manga.
Did they really?
Yeah, she did.
She does.
A small child.
So I was like, this is better, especially since she's professing her. Never mind. I'm not gonna go too much into it because her quirk is actually really wild.
I actually forgot her quirk.
If they animate this, oh my god! Like I'm thinking about the animation from the overhaul. Like if they add,
what's her quirk?
They have that same flair. I'll tell you afterwards. They have that same flair for
they will.
God, it's gonna look
nuts. They will. They need that. They need that
because that's. I'm just thinking about that one panel with how Gentle looks fully powered up.
Yes,
and it looks insane. So, anime fans, anime watchers, you're in for a real treat. Still, like this anime keeps going. Like you think there gonna be some people like, oh god, it's so boring now. They're just in school, but
no. Well,
no. Just get through this part. It's like it's a little kind of like because we just came from such a high that you're like,
give us slow it down.
Now they have us in an intermission, which is fine. Intermissions are good. Because it lets you do some other character building. Because remember, all the other characters he has to fill in and write about, we've only been looking at like maybe 6 recently. Yeah. It's been a while.
That is very true.
Even though the school festival is not to emphasize on their hero acts and stuff like that, but it just builds their character, their human like personalities. Like everybody has personalities.
It's gonna be a real good time.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Can't wait for the school festival arc as well. Within the Gentle arc too.
And plus, we also get a new opening. I'm really curious about that. We also get a new opening, and I'm really curious because it comes out in 2 days. It comes out on Saturday, so I'm very excited about to actually see the new opening.
Oh, that's right. And it is on Saturday.
Yeah, it's on Saturday. That's why I'm like, I forgot the new opening is this coming Saturday, so I really can't wait to see it, to actually drop and see how those new visuals and the new song. Because you could say what you could say about each opening of My Hero, which one is better or not. But truth be told, not really of My Hero is bad. They're all good. There's just which ones are better, but they're all good. So I'm really excited for this new opening because I can't wait to hear and see the visuals for it.
Yeah, I'm also excited about the ending too. Season 1's opening is my favorite still.
Really? The original? Wow, damn, that's
really
old.
Good.
Yeah. I still listen to it all the time.
I listen to all of them. I just don't remember which one is which from which season, so I don't know which one honestly. So that's on me.
But yeah, definitely for sure. Can't wait for the school festival arc. Eri actually does look cute in.
She looks adorable. Eri with Miro and Deku looks amazing. I love it.
Even the poster
she looks so
looks
happy. Weird. She looks so happy. And that's how it should be like. She looks so like I'm here with these guys. I'm surrounded by good people. I just want to hug her and just tell her that everything's gonna be okay. And I love that about her.
For sure, because this is it won't be as a crazy ride from the overall arc, but it's still a good change of pace and get more character development and everything for sure. So yeah, season 4, part 2, and I think it's only gonna be this entire arc's gonna be 10 episodes exactly technically. Like 16, 17, 18, 19, maybe, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oh, like 9 episodes. But still, that's fine. That works out. And then season 5, we could say announces next year. Yeah.
That's the season I'm excited for. Season 5 because of most likely the second half. That's what I'm excited for.
Second half is most likely gonna
and that's what I'm excited.
I say both halves are awesome. So
no. Well, first half is because it's Class 1A versus Class 1B, but second half is the villain arc, and that's what I care for. I just want to see the villain arc. That's all. That's my favorite arc of My Hero in manga wise. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I will say that it's not my favorite, but damn, it's good.
It's freaking great. It's one of my favorite mangas. What's
funny is people complain about that arc because it was either taking too slow or people in Japan didn't really like too much focus on the villains.
I don't understand. Like I said, I don't get why people complain.
The U.S. audience and Japan audience is so different in taste. I have noticed that throughout the years. So I really want to say that it's really different, and I've noticed that throughout the years of how what they like and what we like is so different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so true. I mean, we watch their shows, we like it in sub. They watch our shows, they watch it in their own subs. So that's the same. That's still the same, similar. But anyway, guys, let's move on to our next news. Dragon Ball narrator Brice Armstrong has passed away at age 84. He is the narrator for Dragon Ball Z, and he's also the voice for Ginyu from the Ginyu Force. Rest in peace, because he has been around for a very long time, and we loved his voice, his narration for Dragon Ball Z. He does a very great job.
Literally one of the voices of my childhood. Literally.
The one that I spoke to the most.
I mean, like with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot out, and we hear his narration voice, knowing that, oh wait, that's him. That's also him. It's kind of weird to have the game came out and the voice and narrator, and then unexpectedly he passed away, and a great respect would have been like maybe memories of Brice Armstrong would be really cool if they add that in the end of the game too. But oh well, it's okay. It happens. Like death is part of life. But he was a great narrator, and he was actually great as Ginyu. We all had fun with him voicing Ginyu. So for sure, it's good. Sorry. Let's move on to our next news. Netflix adds Dragon Quest: Your Story, the CG anime film, on February 13th, and Cagaster of an Insect Cage anime on February 6th. So we did talk about Cagaster of an Insect Cage last year. It was part of Netflix, one of their many anime adaptations they did. Apparently, this is also another one with the CG animation. I mean, I feel with Dragon Quest, that came out last year as well with its own animation movie, and it looks much more cleaner. But for Cagaster of an Insect Cage, it's like its typical Netflix original anime adaptation, like they did with Levius and Ashura Kenshin Ashura. Yeah. So it looks a little weird to me in the animation for you.
You know what I just realized? This animation style is all Ruby's fault.
Really? Oh, you got a point. You make a good point.
This is all Ruby's fault. And I mean,
Ruby's story was good though.
But I think he's speaking about the animation of how big it has gotten over the years with Ruby. I have to agree because the more I see CG animation from Netflix, I have to be on James' boat because I'm tired of y'all Netflix. Why do you just why can't it, is it because we have less people doing more of the traditional animation because CG is easier? What is it, Netflix? Come on,
it's cheaper.
Thank you.
It's just cheaper, yeah.
Just put more money in those pockets. Come on, we enjoy
do it like this, and people still enjoy it.
Man, do it better. Just do it better for God's sake, because I'm just not loving it. I saw both these trailers and I'm like, fuck this shit.
Well, Dragon Quest is fine. No, Dragon Quest was from a different studio and they've worked on it.
It still don't look good, so it's still a pass for me.
I think it looked okay for Dragon Quest. Can you start? I don't think so for me. But
yeah, I'm probably not gonna watch any of these.
Same here with
I'm gonna check out Dragon Quest because Dragon Quest, but we also know that Dragon Quest can be gorgeous because the Akira Toriyama designs in this.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna try it just because it's Dragon Quest.
The game of Dragon Quest looks amazing. That game looks amazing of Dragon Quest. The one that recently came out.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That one looks amazing. So why couldn't they do the same animation of that inside the game? I mean, inside the show.
I mean, it's hand-drawn animation takes time and money. Again, CG is much cheaper for them.
Much cheaper.
Yeah. Oh well.
I mean, I still need to watch Ni no Kuni actually too.
I've been meaning to watch that. I saw it like on Netflix. I saw like an hour. I saw it an hour 48 minutes. Huh? Maybe I could put some time to watch it sometime next week then.
Same here. All right, guys, let's move on. Goblin Slayer, Goblin's Crown. Theater animates its full trailer stream.
I don't know what's with trailers nowadays. Like, yeah, literally show the whole movie. I saw the trailer and I'm like, all right, stop it now. I'm good. I already saw like almost 2/3 of the movie. I'm good. If I watch anymore, I know that you're gonna pull a whole Batman v Superman and show the whole Doomsday at the end. I'm like, nah, I'm good. You guys are literally showing the whole movie. But I must have watch it eventually, but I'm good.
Eventually.
I'm just not interested. Like I saw the first episode of Demon Slayer. There's a lot of shock value to that episode.
You mean Goblin Slayer? Sorry, Goblin Slayer.
What did I say?
You said Demon Slayer.
There we go. I'm thinking of a much better anime. But yeah. Goblin Slayer, I'm just not interested. There's just nothing that pulls me in. And I look at this, I was like, okay, this looks cool. He's fighting like a goblin knight king thing. I'm sure it'll look cool. I'll watch it on YouTube. I'll catch the fight on YouTube. I don't care to watch this at all.
I mean, yeah, same here. It's just this every time I'm watching this and he's fighting goblins, like, all right, this is technically an anime that's based on Dungeons and Dragons. This is something like it reminds me of the game, and like it just like it doesn't impress me fully. It looks nice, some visual. They remixed the intro song from their series into this movie as well. But yeah, it could just be confetti. And this movie it looks just nice in the trailer. It's just confetti, but it might not be a totally great movie altogether. So I'll just stick with reading the manga like I always do. So moving on, new Digimon TV series, Digimon Adventure. Honestly, I don't know what that symbol is called, but will air this April on 2020 on Fuji Television, featuring the completely new stories of fifth grader Tai Kamaya and with Agumon.
I'm excited for this. Honestly, as a Digimon fan, back when I was little, I preferred Digimon over Pokemon between the anime. And Same. I'm excited because of two things. One, because Digimon's fucking awesome and your pet talks to you. And they're not your slave doing gym battles, but this one where they're your best friend where it helps you save the world. And one thing is my con is that
technically you're the slave helping them save their world.
In that aspect, I guess yes.
Until you bring them into your world.
They're partners.
But you're partners because they need each other. They need you to digivolve, but they need you so they can actually do something with it. So it's actually
it's not like Pokemon where they keep their partners in small confined spaces called Pokeballs.
And it's where their chain, can't do nothing about it. The only one that gets to disobey is Pikachu, but also because that's a tough person to just ignore. But yeah, I'm excited. Just the thing that I'm worried about is their choice to do fifth graders. But I assume so it's because they want this season of Digimon to last longer. It's because they're much younger. So I assume instead of having one season of, for example, of just 64 episodes, they're going to have one season of 125 episodes instead. So they can have these characters with a much longer story, much better, and also cleaner animation because it's been 20 goddamn years, so it makes goddamn sense. So I'm very excited.
They know which Digimon season makes the most money, and it's the adventure season. That's the one everybody knows. It's the one everybody cares about. So why not make more of that? I get it. I know that some people are kind of tired of seeing the adventure series at this point, and they thought that they were done with it. Like they've tried to end it like 3 different times, and they can't.
But
like, okay, sure, well, why not? Let's see it again.
One thing I'm sad that they actually had to de-age not ties the one that has the Digimon with the wings.
Piyomon?
Yeah, no, yeah, but the boy. They had to de-age him more. Like he was younger already than out of all of them, and I felt bad. I'm like,
are you talking about TK?
TK, yes, thank you. I was like, I forgot his name. And
Max little brother?
Yes, Max little brother, TK. And is that I felt bad for him because my dude got much younger than he already was, and he was already the most annoying character, which is not a bad thing. It's just that he was always in trouble. He was always getting lost or something, or he was always getting a fight with Matt. And I mean, come on, man, grow up some balls already. Come on, just evolve Angemon already and just get to it.
What is up with y'all and always wanting kids to grow up faster than they need to?
I don't think that makes sense.
I don't understand y'all. I don't get
They're
it.
in a world of trouble. They need to grow up somewhere or another.
It's a kid. Kids are kids.
He's still a little kid. Bro,
that's what people that complain about Gohan. Just I'm like, I don't understand you. Gohan was a child. Okay, literally a child.
If Ty and them are like 5th grade, it's like he's probably in the 2nd grade. It's like,
yeah, so I feel bad for him.
He's probably like I don't know, 8 years old, 7, 8 years old.
No, third grade. No, 3rd grade. I think is. I don't even know. I don't know what 6th grade is.
But still, he's just a little kid. And remember, he was like his Digimon was the last Digimon that got to evolve. It was like almost one of the strongest. But he had to turn back into an egg. He literally had to start over from the beginning, from egg.
And that's why I'm curious about how this story's gonna be like with them going back to 5th grade, even younger. I'm excited as a fan. Overall, I'm excited as a fan. I'm just curious to see how this is gonna turn out. I hope the best for it. So I'm really excited for it. I just am worried, but at the end of the day, they know what they're doing. They know what to do with the property. Like Ray said, is that this is an adventure anime. They have this property for so long. I hope they know what they're doing. That's the most important thing.
I mean, we can already say that they're going to be targeting the younger kids. I don't know if they're going to target they can't really target the younger generation because like what Pokemon do, every time they bring up a new season, they have to target the new little kids
and also toys
up to grow to watch Pokemon.
Oh,
so it makes sense that Digimon had to do the same thing. So if there was something where for us adults who watch this that don't really fully agree because it's a little too childish or somewhat or whatnot, like, I mean, remember the target is for little kids to watch. Even if it's like a typical happily ever after thing, it's for kids, not adults.
So speaking of kids real quick, hey, how's that Zoids anime doing in Japan? Do we know?
I haven't caught up. It's still going, but I haven't. I
guess I want to see where it's ranking. I'm curious to know. Because I know it got another season. They're still cranking out seasons, so I'm curious. Nobody's picked it up over here, so it's not popular enough to pick up over here, but they're still doing it in Japan, so I'm curious.
I mean, if they can literally bring, there's some stuff that they just should bring, but there's some stuff that they shouldn't bring, especially that fan-made Naruto thing.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring into another Netflix news. Studio Ghibli Films is starring this February 2020. It's gonna have movies from Hayao Miyazaki films. However, it's excluding the U.S., Canada, and oh my God, Japan. You're restricting them from having their own movies.
I want to ask James, how do you feel about it? Because I feel like you have the most opinion about this.
I mean, licensing is funny, man. It just is what it is. Someone else obviously owns the licensing rights for the US, Canada, and Japan. And this is just the way it shakes out. It just is what it is. Studio Ghibli makes amazing anime films. And Netflix and us viewers are very lucky that we'll have anything at some point. So
I totally 100% agree. I feel like HBO just had the much bigger money to have the license for US, Canada, and for Japan. For them to even not license it in Japan, that's crazy because it's something that James said is about the licensing, where for us US audience, we have the DC servers that is us where we can see our Titan, Young Justice, and other comic book shows there. But outside of the US, people can watch it on Netflix. So it's all about licensing and also of how your service works. Is it up to date where it can stream all worldwide? It's all about the licensing, and it sucks, but Netflix is interesting. It's still, as much as people don't understand, streaming service is still fairly new. It's been less than 20 years, fairly new. Cable has been out longer, but it's dying out. Streaming service still is trying to understand what it is, even inside the award season, Oscars and everything. So at the end, like James said, licensing still something, and it's a conflicting thing.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
I'm sorry, Ray. You saying?
It's a very cheap and effective way to use this. Just get a VPN and you'll be fine.
That too.
That is very true.
That's very true.
Just pay for a VPN. You can watch whatever you want.
And wherever you are, that's very true.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, from what I've found in the news is that the movie is only going to be in Japan and it's only going to be subtitled only. So you won't even have the dub voicing for English or the other languages voicing for this movie. But
or like it's like Ray saying, get VPN, or just buy the goddamn DVDs and Blu-rays and have them to yourself in your own shop as a collection. That too.
But yeah, but the collection for it's expensive. Having all the 23 movies, oh my god, that's money.
It's up to them, not me. I am not the bank account.
Or what is it? Who's getting it here? Is it HBO?
Yeah, we're probably going.
Here is HBO Max.
Yeah, or get HBO Max when that comes out if it's not already out. So
I think it's in March or May is being launched.
Yep.
Yeah. Take all my money.
You got options. It's all good.
$50.99. Go for it.
At least the good thing about this news is at least everywhere else is going to be able to experience anime and have more anime culture. This is way back, and it's still, most of these movies still holds up, and these are like one of the tiers up top for these anime movies. So inspired, enjoy anime, and hopefully we have more otaku and weebs around the entire world. Moving on to our next news, Universal Studios Japan showed their trailer of their Attack on Titan's AR ride.
This
James,
is
I
sick.
want to hear your thoughts.
This is really sick, and I want to go on it right now. Because, I mean, the idea behind this is brilliant. Like, you're sitting in a moving car thing.
Roller coaster kind of.
Yeah, moving you left to right, and you're wearing this headset that's
VRs,
putting you into the world of Attack on Titan. At one point, you're on a wagon while the Titans are being killed around you. Like, it looks really, really cool, and I need to get on it now.
If in the scene where they strap on the device on you, and that's where you actually literally going in loops,
yeah,
that would actually be dope. That would actually be crazy cool in the dopes. You might get sick for real, because that's how much VR games can do. Like if you play too much or too long.
That's the other way you don't get me on a roller coaster.
It doesn't bother me. I've been in a VR headset for like 3 hours straight, and I feel nothing at all.
See, it's the difference between a good VR headset and some well-designed. It depends on how it's designed. Because I've been in both. Like I've been in really good like VR stuff where I've played it for hours, and then I've been in like a really poorly designed one that I've been in for like 30 minutes, and I felt sick afterwards. But it's just really how it's designed. Like, because man, it was just, I remember what game it was. I played one game, and I was like, this is not done well. And like after I got out, I was like, oh no, I actually don't feel well. But it was the first time that it ever happened. But it's only because it was like a cheaper game and probably like their first game. So stuff like that looks wild. That looks so crazy.
Yeah, VR is weird because technically for the majority of human beings, 20 minutes is the recommended limit.
Wow.
20 minutes straight in VR.
I'm not sure where I read this in the article for this ride too. I mean, for these kind of roller coaster rides, it shouldn't last more than a couple minutes into this ride.
I assume it'll be like 5 to 7 minutes.
I feel like 5 minutes almost max. Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's way more than enough, and you're gonna be seeing lines for this. You will see a lot of people online want to get onto this and visualize and see this.
Japan is killing it right now when it comes to the theme parks. Because
aren't
they also just opening Super Mario World or whatever?
Oh yeah, Yeah, that recently opened too.
That's nuts. Come on, Japan. I've already wanted to go bad enough. Now you really want me to go. I want to go real
Well, they're preparing for this year. I mean, the Olympics.
That's right. 2020 is there. Man, Japan about to make bad.
Yo, Sam, James, when we out to Japan, let's go since Ray is gonna be going in December.
Yeah, let's go.
We'll make plans with Ray, and the Anime Lately podcast crew are in Japan.
We definitely could because plus one thing I gotta admit, the animation of the ride looks really cool because it kind of reminds me of the game.
It looks just like the game. Yeah,
it looks very well done. But one thing I gotta say, those horses, you riding them, should have died a long time ago. There's no way those horses would have survived throughout the whole time.
Well, then again, we didn't know horses can literally ride on the side of the walls either, too.
I was just thinking that too. I'm like, I'm just rewatching it. I'm like, how did that horse still survive falling and still ride throughout the rest of the side? I'm like, huh?
Yes, we know it's not that fast. It's not that fast.
I'm like, okay, but technically you have died in the anime. Like, your horses would have been meat already for those titans. But okay, sure.
Yeah, definitely something that we have to put in our bucket list, our checklist to go in to try out. Definitely for sure.
Yeah.
Next line of news: a promotional video for Studio Trigger's original TV anime BNA, Brand New Animals.
And so sad that it's going to Netflix jail. Like,
yeah, because studio for this is also Plus Ultra.
And I'm excited for it. The animation looks good, but it sucks that we will not see it once it's airing in Japan. Netflix is not going to air for us until 6 to 8 months later. So it's sad, but I'm excited for Trigger. The last work for Trigger was Premiere, so I haven't been any upset work from the studio. They've been doing very good with the animation and the quality of the story. It is all on the perspective of you like it or not. So I'm curious for this brand new animal on BNA. And we also finally found out what it means, BNA, because before when they just announced it months ago, they just call it BNA. Now to finally know what it means. Sounds cool. I thought it would have been a much better name, but I like the word BNA more. But it's pretty dope though. So they kind of sold me on it. Sucks that it's on Netflix though.
James, Ray,
yeah,
thoughts?
I mean, I'll give it a shot. Like, I'm not like the biggest fan of like how the animation looks, but I'll give it a shot. I don't really know what it's about really, but I'm definitely gonna at least give it a shot.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like these kinds of animes, like almost like Zootopia and then Beastars and other animes. There's been more of this lately.
It's first season, boys.
It's Trigger, and I mean, Rule 34 is gonna have a field day with this one, but I'll check this out for sure. It's Trigger. I like Trigger, so yeah.
Of course. And yeah, and once James watch Premiere, we're definitely gonna do a Premiere movie review.
And plus, it reminds me of Sly Cooper a little bit, so of course I want to see it.
That's what I was thinking in my head, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
And plus, before we go on to the next news, I want to say there was also news that dropped today. I don't know if everybody saw it, but I know that it will make also very, very happy is that there is going to be a Bleach OVA for Burn the Witch. It's a one shot, and I'm pretty excited for it because it with all the Bleach stuff that's coming out, the Bleach manga is coming out thing in March, and then the OVA. It kind of leaves me on like, are they trying to hint slowly that the anime might come back?
I think they're hinting at like they're trying to gauge popularity.
Yes,
if
like
there's enough that they might bring Bleach back to finish up that last season. Which, for the love of God, please get it back. Like Ichigo was my favorite. Like I love Naruto and them, but Ichigo was my favorite MC. Like he straight up was. I really liked Ichigo, so I'm like, I want this. I need this.
It's either,
that's what it is. I'm gonna buy whatever they have that they need me to buy. I'll buy it.
And plus, it gives a good reason for maybe they could fix those last 15 chapters for the season of the anime. Because if they could, I don't know if those last 15 chapters are so rushed, and they could probably make the story better and improve it.
They could streamline it for sure.
I hope so, because that's all I want. And it will make me want to finish reading the last 15 chapters that I never read, and then actually watch the anime if it finally drops. So please, any Japan people that listen to us, tell your higher ups and say that you have a Bleach fandom in US, and we will watch it. Trust me, people always bring up Ichigo, Bleach, the anime itself. So don't worry, you have a fandom here. Bring it back.
Even if you put it on Amazon, bring it back, please.
Netflix, even Hulu, or make a new streaming service.
I mean, it could be on Hulu, but I ain't gonna say Netflix. But please put it on
Amazon, please, Amazon.
That'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty dope for Amazon to have the last arc there because of how dark it is. That'd be pretty cool.
But then, like, would it still be the same studio, or should it have Studio Mappa to work on this?
No, I'm like, just get whoever's doing Seven Deadly Sins and Black Clover. Don't let them watch it.
Yeah.
Give it to
do not let. Technically, Ray, Studio Peria did have Bleach and Naruto before, so it's not that bad.
I'm going based off where they are right now. Nope.
Okay, true. So no Studio Peria, no Studio Dean, nothing. But the other studios, that any other 25 studios out there in Japan, let them have it.
Hey, what studio? You're not doing Attack on Titan anymore, right? Can you pick up Bleach instead?
That is very true.
Not trying to be insensitive to that animation studio that burned down that we talked about, but I kind of want to set a blaze to Studio Dean and all of their properties. I want to burn their facilities to the fucking ground.
Wow! Whoa! I mean, just because they killed your favorite show doesn't mean it's that bad.
No. Ray, they killed it. They murdered it. Like, they put it down the ground and put a flame on it and put
they can
this guy
rebuild.
In a rocket.
Okay, I'm angry.
Right? Did you know that
I'm an angry otaku?
Right. James said, did you know that there's a hashtag trending saying remake Seven Deadly Sins season 3?
I'm pretty sure there's others.
There's a hashtag for that. There's a hashtag for saying remake season 3.
Unless that's trending for a good, I don't know, couple weeks, maybe a month.
No,
something like
Sam,
that.
it has to be trending for almost a year for people to actually see that. Like,
there you
consistently.
Go.
That's how bad it needs to be.
It won't happen until it's trending and all the studio people know about it. And literally, if it's gonna keep on trending like that, they know for sure to cancel season 3 of what they already have right now, start over fresh, because whatever money that's going into is going to the wrong hands. Someone's been stealing all the money, keeping it in their own pockets, and like treating what really a high pedestal into a piece of shit, and they just stole all this because he stole all its money for it. That's the only answer I could come with from that.
Yeah.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Oh my god!
But at least a animation studio that continues getting murk on is what studio that continues getting compared to manga and anime, Sam? I'm trying to give you a leadway to the next segment, to the next news.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go into our word from the word from the Twitter streets, because at this moment he is a reliable source, but in a way,
it's
like
a rumor.
It's a rumor.
Well, it's not just a rumor, because also a anime outlet also said it. So supposedly, take it with a grain of salt. That's all.
I'm not gonna say that this is real or talk about it as it's real,
because it doesn't sound too real to me. Even from the person who found this, Yanko Productions. Shout out to you. You're a great line of source of news. From what he said, My Hero Academia is going to receive a new movie every year for a total of at least 10 movies that are currently being planned. I don't believe it, honestly. I don't really. I'm not saying the bad, disencouraged way of saying My Hero Academia can last more than 10 years. I'm saying it's what can you really do to pull out 10 more movies of stories?
The only thing I could say for maybe 3 more movies, one more as a prequel for All Might, of him himself in his youth. And the second movie could be another movie about Class A or Class B, something like that. And the third movie, I don't know.
I mean, they could do Vigilantes as a movie.
Vigilantes too. All right, that's a third movie. but 10 freaking movies, that's not including the past 2. So that's 12 movies in total. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's just way too much. And also, hopefully.
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done now? Do you know that Naruto went on for 15 years? And there were 11 movies?
Yeah.
Get that shit out of here. Yes, we can do 10 movies. Yes, we can.
So I believe the 10 movies. I believe that it's possible. My thing is not every year, because
I hope
it's oversaturating. It's why the fandom for Star Wars is not where it used to be. It's just like, well, now they're just pumping them out every year, and we're just, they're mediocre for the most part. Like, you need separation. You need time to miss the thing that you love, so that when it's back, you appreciate it more, which is why there's seasons of television where you wait and build anticipation. It will not happen once a year. That's nonsense.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, man, if Naruto can go on for 15 years, which nobody really saw it doing, My Hero could go for at least 10.
But then their movies, technically, they're not canon, though, for Naruto. Yeah.
Well, the movies for My Hero don't have to be canon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the only way it can't be, like, the way I see it is these are non-canon movies for it to work for 10 consecutive years. But
I'm okay with that. That's fine.
That's fine. Just
I'm just saying that it's completely possible.
But remember, if they're still also doing the TV animation as well,
that's the thing that bothers me.
Most of the money is going to go more towards the movie than it is towards the show that's going to be coming up for it.
That's the thing that bothers me, is that I hope they know what they're doing. If it's true, if there's rumors true, hope they get new animators, hire new people, don't overwork the staff. It's because if you're having movies and the season anime coming out close to each other, they're stretching thin. So that's something that I hope for the team and their staff to actually take the time, don't rush it. Hey guys, we have the manga. We're good. Some of the fandom is good. The other people that are anime watchers are gonna be impatient. But hey, there's an anime season that comes out every freaking season. There's spring, there's summer, fall, there's winter. We're good to wait a year for an anime. So take your time.
What's the chances of them using these movies for each following arc, instead of the seasonal shows anymore?
Like Demon Slayer, I wouldn't mind to see that. What they're doing the train arc would be pretty cool. For the villain arc, I wouldn't mind to see that such crispy as 1 hour and 40 minutes of a whole villain arc. That'd be bonkers. That'd be amazing. I wouldn't mind.
It already made its own title, the My Villain Academia arc.
Oh yeah,
you literally have the title for that. So
I don't mind it. As long as they know how to tackle it and do it smoothly, then I don't mind. It just depends how well they could execute it. It's all about execution and how you do it well. You could come up with an idea. Hey guys, let's do this. But at the end of the day, like James said, like with the whole Star Wars movies, they did the movies, but without no story. But with My Hero, they have to at least know what they're doing. What's the game plan? Don't just do 10 movies just to do good. It's just to make the cow. For example, Boruto. They're making the cow, but somehow they're making it work the best they can. But hopefully with My Hero, they know what they're doing with the movies. Hopefully they plan that and know how to execute it correctly.
I wouldn't mind the last movie is what finishes completely for the My Hero Academia series. It's like instead of having a TV show as its last arc, you watch a movie instead. That'd be pretty cool, actually, to have an anime series finish with a movie, like a full-on movie.
Agree?
Yeah, really just all depends on how it's done.
But yeah, 10 movies. For 10 more movies, we could see how it works. Hopefully, it doesn't cut away its profits, its fundings for its TV series shows. We want to at least have good, consistent animations for both the TV series and slightly much better animation movie-like for the movies in itself. That's why people are putting their money, putting their monies into this, to watch in theaters to watch these movies. So, depending how you budget this and how you organize and plan, it can go really well. Doesn't have to be canon, like we all said. It could be enjoyable fan service. Even One Piece has so many movies that has nothing to do with the canon story, and they do pretty well by themselves. So My Hero Academia movies, it's possible. Just how it's being planned is needs to be we need to know.
Yeah, they could do some great shit with like an Elseworlds kind of storyline. Like, what if Bakugo inherited One for All instead of Deku?
Or like, make a whole real
how about
Deku.
Miro? How about Miro gets the One for All instead?
Or focus Deku as a villain.
I don't think that would be as interesting. Because I mean, the point of it being Deku is him being quirkless, like his own personal drive of wanting to be a hero. I feel like Mirio is the obvious choice, which is why it's the main story is not about him. Because I think it would just be too obvious. I don't think he's as compelling as Deku, but that's a conversation for another day.
I have one that I can't say because it's a spoiler. So yeah.
I mean, I kind of would be interested if they do something like with Flash, with Savitar and stuff like that. You have an evil Deku from a different world coming into Deku with the One for All power world and just literally wreak havoc and work with Shigaraki.
I mean, or it could just be, what if One for All was accidentally given to a villain? You know,
that'd be pretty interesting.
Dude, could you imagine if Stain had One for All? Oh my god. That'd be insane. That'd be insane.
I know, like, it's not too necessary, but I do like where Miguel was coming from. Have like the prequel of the history between One for All and All for One Corp.
That's
everything.
Necessary.
The war times.
We know that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna see that probably sooner rather than later anyway. So
let the war begin.
Like how the war started, how the heroes and villains separated, and how the hero world became what it is right now because of these actions and sort of way. They're gonna need that, but literally the animated show needs to be where the manga is right now first, and then we're gonna have the movie.
We have a lot of good stuff to see before we get there, so I'm okay with where we are right now. We got a lot of good stuff to see.
Yeah, because we can't wait for Heroes Rising coming out next month. Exactly next month.
Yeah, a month and 5 days, I think it comes out.
We will be buying our tickets next Friday.
Yep.
Nice.
Definitely. Okay, guys. This is the end of our podcast. James, Ray, can you give us your plugs?
James, hit it.
Yeah, you guys can find absolutely everything that I do on carefulforspoilers.com. You will get links to all of the podcasts on the C4S Podcast Network. You will get links to all of our social media. Like Sam said in the promo, we just did our top 10, well, not top 10, but we did our most anticipated films of 2020. And the next episode is going to be all about the best and the worst of the decade. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You can find me here every single week on an Anime Lately podcast. See you then.
Oh man. Well, you know who else you can see on the Anime Lately podcast, besides James? Me. Rayapollo, Rayapollo. Don't put a space in it or you'll get a clown. And I'm not a clown. So I want you to focus on 3 places for my content. Miguel, I'll bop you. Don't try me, boy. Don't you bet not. Find me in 3 places. That's right. I want you to find me on Twitch, where I stream weekly, Sunday through Thursday, having a great time. Right now, playing that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, showing the good anime time, because it's a real good time right now. And then I want you to also find me on Twitter. I post a lot of dank memes. We have a lot of really good conversations about anime. We have a real good time. And for some reason, Miguel put a large frown on his head. But it's all good. And then I want you to find me on YouTube. I do a lot of stuff on YouTube. I have my own personal channel where I do a lot of video game content, a lot of video game news, unboxings. And then I do some anime reactions on the Anime Lately channel, which you already kind of know about. So check that out. I'd really appreciate it. So you know where to find me. I'll be here regardless.
And guys, you know who else you can see on the Anime Lately channel? It's me, Dio.
You lie.
Yes, it's me, Dio. Other than that, guys, we just watched JoJo. I'm having a good time. Check out our stream on Twitch where we'll be watching JoJo Bizarre Adventure. It's definitely a bizarre, freaking goddamn adventure. We're having too much fun. So check us out. Follow me personally. Other than that, guys, I will go kill Danny.
Yeah, guys, you can follow me at Sam the Mega Man. Guys, if you love what we do in our podcast, make sure you give us a 5-star review on iTunes and let the word out. Let us know that our podcast is here. We've been out for a good while, and we hope we entertain you, and hopefully we want to entertain even more people, guys. And hopefully one day we got sponsor and ads for you guys to help keep this running, because this is not free. This is something that we all have to spend our time into, that we love doing for you guys. So thank you guys for listening. Have a good one. Peace.